The immense figure entered the classroom, greeted the students, sat on his chair, and began to speak. Today we will start with Unit 5, in which I have replaced the XX text with the NN text. Given that Unit 6 includes the famous work of Arnold Montes, which shows that XX is incompatible with Unit 5, which is named The Human Condition and the Rhetoric Hypertrophy Technocratic Anthropomorphism and its Parapologetic and Psychocultural Derivations. The class, confused, answered, "Yes, of course." The first text of the unit is called The House by John Elier, and it reads, "The house is nice and modest. I like to see it at noon, when the sun is up and blazing, in the plain that is ours." The man continued, "First we must make clear some of the marks of Elier, an author who I frequently read. A clear one is constantly identifying house with life. So the first verse would read, 'Life is nice and modest,' and the adjective modest reinforces the technotrophic vision that the author has on life, which was seen in the title, The House. This is what justifies its inclusion in Unit 5, The Human Condition and Anthropomorphism. The other signature mark about the author that we must know to comprehend his verses is his militance towards neo-Hegelianism, which is noted in the expression, 'I like seeing it at noon.'" In that moment, a silence formed in the classroom, and one of its students, filled with bravery, asked, "But sir, are you sure of what you're saying? In my opinion, Elier is just saying that the house is nice and modest, and he likes to see it at noon." The teacher responded, No, it's very clear that the correct interpretation is the one I am using. If you knew the existential philosophy of Elier, you would realize that what you are saying is incoherent." "If you say so." Continuing with verse 3, you can clearly see the opposition with verse 2, given that its vision is much more decadent and surrealistic. Given that the author always used blaze to mean death, we can conclude that blaze supports the decadent posture which I have mentioned. Finally, we get to verse 4, which is in my opinion the most genius of them all, given that in a few words, it resumes the dialectic nihilistic theory. The expression, "plain that is ours," irrefutably manifests the mental state of the thinkers of said theory. The confused and lost expression on the few students that were still awake was eloquent. The immense man, who was used to this type of answer, left the room, but he did so with the secret joy of having tricked a group of youngsters into believing that the description of a house during noon was a perfect expression of the nihilistic dialectic and decadent neo-Hegelianism.